freaky. Oh, wait. I think it's freaky. Nice side. We tried, you know. I think you guys will be here. Yeah. We have a great show for you tonight. Tonight's our first show of the year, so let's get up to that. You know, we're feeling really nostalgic, so that's why we're doing the theme that we're doing, which is Ladies Night Comedy suffers from the 2008 recession. Yes, it's right up my alley, aka scamming poor people, stealing their money. Not joking, that was my job this summer. I was a risk management analyst, which is exactly the people who caused the 2008 recession. A fun little tidbit, right? Yeah. Okay. But you know what? Why don't we get started? I know it. You know, we're gonna do things a little bit differently. Number one, I'm going first, and I'm hosting. Probably the only time I've come first in my life. Just kidding. I've never come in my life. I'm gonna take it a little bit differently. First of all, as you've noticed, no notebook. You know, we're trying to go away from that. Mainly just because I'm gonna do a little bit of storytelling. That's not really great, but you know, I'm gonna enjoy myself. It's a chill night for me. Yeah. Okay. Well, number two is I kind of mentioned it briefly, like in my previous sets, but I was like, you know, I might as well tell the story. They're kind of funny, but only funny to me in a sad way. So, you guys probably know this by now, but I'm bisexual, so that means I date men, women, other. I'm in like the who should I fuck plus premium subscription. I tell people that I'm bisexual mainly as a way to like increase my dating pool because I'm so ugly, but like it still doesn't get results. No, but most people I think at IU know, I mean, except for my parents. You know, I think I've successfully hid 2 girlfriends from them. Okay, like, successfully is a bit of a stretch, though. Mainly because I'm thinking of this one story. So, I was in Fort Wayne, which is where I'm from. And if you're ever wondering what Fort Wayne is like, imagine the inside of an Applebee's as an entire town. That's Fort Wayne. It's incredible. It's great. But anyway, we were there in my room, right? You know, I think everyone has this fantasy, being in your childhood bedroom, scared and terrified for your life that your parents are going to catch you, but so desperately horny that you'll do anything. So, you know, halfway through, like, I'm like, you know, I should lock the door. I feel like that's like a smart thing to do. So I locked the door, and you know, most articles of clothing are off. Also, I'm just gonna apologize. This story is messy, both like in how I tell it, because I've only told it like 2 times, and also like me. Anyway, so like clothes are mostly off. Like, you know, I'm just getting a little heated, a little bit TVMA, you know, a little euphoria, but like without the drugs. But all of a sudden, like I hear a knock at my door. I'm like, oh my god, and my mom's like, she doesn't usually knock. She's usually like a straight opener of the door. My dad has a little bit more politeness, so like he makes up for it because he yells at me and lectures me, but like my mom tries to understand me. It's a great relationship, personally. But anyway, and I was like, oh my god, I like can't be caught with her. Like she is naked. So then I was like, okay, I have a brilliant idea. I'm gonna just quickly have her grab her clothes, shove her into my closet. Now, okay, I understand I both literally and metaphorically shoved her back into the closet. I understand how terrifying that is, but you know, I put her in there, and then like my mom came in. I was like, oh my god, Mom, I'm so sorry. I was just in the bathroom. Sure, it's on backwards, you know. But with my mom, I don't usually like to gaslight people, but with my mom, I was like, no, we're going hard. God wants me to lie right now. And so I did. My mom was like, why don't you take your laundry and put it downstairs? I was like, no, I'm gonna stay here. And so then, like, you know, we both could sense that something was wrong. We just kind of make eye contact, like, yeah, so fun, man, so fun. I like, to me, for these stories, I want you guys to feel excruciating pain, mainly because it's like, you're like, where are the jokes that you usually tell? But also because you're like, oh, why are you telling me this? I kind of like, you know, ordering that line. But don't worry, we snuck her back to her room. No one was ever the wiser. There's another story then later that day. My dad also catches us, but again, it's a don't ask, don't tell in my family. But it ends happy. We actually ended up breaking up, and I wish this part was a joke, because she's fully becoming a professional and joining the circus. I'm not joking. I wish that was a joke. It's not. I can't even look at a trapeze artist now without thinking, why am I not together with my soulmate? It's a real Romeo and Juliet situation. You've all been in that situation before. Like, you want to go off and have a job, and your significant other has to go and juggle. I was like, am I the clown? Am I the clown? But speaking of things I couldn't look at, I told this story to a couple of my friends the other day, and they're like, this is like a crazy story. You have to tell everyone. I was like, oh, it just seemed normal. Didn't everyone have this kind of experience growing up? But, so it's junior year. I'm just going to set this. Junior year, AP Gov. All right, I walk in. I have a huge backpack on, so I'm like walking in like this, and I'm like, throw it off. And my friend Panache is like, I can't look at you. I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I have a tendency to be an asshole, yes, but most of the time people at least look at me when I am. But she was like, no, I seriously can't look at you. And I hear other people whispering back and forth. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? And finally she looks at me and she's like, you were in my dream last night, Amina. I was in slavery and you were my slave driver. What the fuck? What the fuck? Also, mind you, she's black. So I was like, what? And like everyone else was like, yeah, Amina, that was so fucked up of you. You need to apologize. What? And she told me the reason that she couldn't make eye contact with me was because when she did, apparently we'd make eye contact and I'd whip her harder. What? How am I supposed to react to that? I just thought that was a fun little tidbit of a story. That one also has no ending. That's why I was like, why am I telling this story? But you know what? You guys were great. This was fun. I tried something different. And we have that. So, stick around. We've got a great show for you. Up next, actually, we have a comedian that many have said looks just like me. And by many, I mean one person. I was on the Spia patio, and we were talking, and they said, wow, she looks identical to you, except white. So now you can narrow down your choices. How many people could that be? She has a great set. I heard her practicing. She's ready. She's excited, and she's going to make you all laugh. Please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mary!
I'm the American second. Okay. Hi. So I realized that I have not ever formally introduced myself to you as my audience members, so I'm going to do a quick little 5 fun facts about me. Number 1, I'm a Libra. Applause. Thank you. Number 2, I ate half a box of rat poison at the age of 3. Thank you, I survived, clearly. Number 3, I'm in love with my 8th grade history teacher. Thank you. Number 4, I've dedicated my entire Instagram to wooing said 8th grade history teacher. And number 5, I know some of you are ahead of me. I did not, in fact, have a great relationship with my father. So fellas, I'm an easy target. As much as I would love to get up here and spill the agoraphobia manifesto that I've been writing this semester, I'm going to do my best by telling perfectly crafted jokes to you, which is really hard because for the longest time, the only joke that I had written in my notes was, I hate seeing signs, like billboards for Alzheimer's. It's not like they're gonna remember. Which is terrible, I'm better than this. I've been really stressed out lately. I actually found 2 gray hairs the other day. Not on my head, though. So I'm gonna let you do with them what you will. But I was talking to my mom, and the conversation of her hair turning gray came up, and she was like, you know, I actually started turning gray when I was a sophomore in college, which prompted me to ask, where exactly? Which is not the conversation that she wanted to have with me on a Monday evening. You ever sit with yourself for a little bit too long and realize, holy shit, I'm evil? I have. I've been thinking of instances in the past where I've just completely let like autopilot take over and I've said the worst things to people I possibly could. Example, the first friend that I ever made in middle school hated me because I directed a dead mom joke to him, and unbeknownst to me, his mom had in fact died 1 month prior. We're still friends though, so obviously I have some redeeming qualities. But I really love to like hit people where it hurts. It was really awesome for me. I love to just like swim through the unease and the tension of a room, which is exactly how I think my finance professor felt when he was showing us an article in class and a porn ad had come up on the side of his computer. And it said something like, this little girl has been exceptionally good this year. And it was a woman in a Santa outfit with the biggest breasts I have ever seen. I knew he was guilty because I've never seen anyone get that instantly sweaty. Speaking of being horny, please bring back the green M&M. Oh my fucking god! Which M&M will I know to objectify? The blue one? Ah! Which personified cartoon candy can I jack off to? I can't do this anymore, you guys. Thank you. I'm gonna get on a soapbox for a little bit and say I understand what they were trying to do with green M&M. They were trying to make her like a bicon by like giving her like white tennis shoes. But let me offer you this. As time goes on, we evolve further and further backwards, fashion-wise. First they took Lola Bunny, and now Target is trying to push Pioneer woman dresses onto us. And it's just a matter of time before the beauty standard is back to full ankle-length dresses. So I offer you this. Stop telling women what to wear. In corporate America, let her stay slutty. Hard pivot. I have a lot of irrational fears. First of all, birds. Second of all, dinosaurs. Running into Lin-Manuel Miranda on the street. But then there's one more that I've been developing recently where I fear that strangers are going to perceive me as horse-like. Maybe it's the bangs, I don't know. But like I find myself thinking, if I walk down this hallway the pace that I always do, is it gonna sound like I'm running a slow gallop? Have I straightened my bangs in a way that seems mane-like? The final nail in my big horse coffin is that I do like to eat granola bars during my first classes, where I do have to be masked at all times. So I take a bite, re-mask, which results in muffled crunching. And I'm very afraid that, like, to a stranger, it would appear as if I'm eating grain out of a feed bag of sorts. Maybe I'm just really insecure. I'm so sorry. Am I bumming you out? Is this sad? I can't afford therapy right now. I've really like going to therapy because I like paying someone to listen to me. Like, I like talking about myself so much that I'll pay someone like $30 to like listen to my problems. I've actually given up being mentally ill for like Lent or something, which is really unfortunate for my therapist because she did say that she looks forward to our sessions because she can be sarcastic and fun, which just confirms that I'm a delight. But why pay for therapy when you can get unsolicited advice from men? You know, they come up to you and they say things like, mental health starts with the gut, and, oh, you're depressed? Have you tried sticking to a workout routine? Like, that's just gonna reverse the trauma from the narcissistic household that I grew up in? Like, I don't believe that that's gonna work, sir. Audience, I'm gonna leave you with one final anecdote, one that I hold very dear, one that I hope that you also hold very dear. I think it's really fucked up that Mr. Bean looks like that. Thank you.
All right, continue giving it up for Mary. Reflecting on the 2008 recession theme again, I decided to put on this outfit mainly because it's like, you know, I was like, it's giving Soviet Union. It's giving Elaine from Seinfeld, but if she worked at a German bank. It's giving Margaret Thatcher, the Thatch, if you will. You know, I know someone in this group who dresses amazingly, impeccably. She's a designer. Not just a designer of her own outfits and wardrobes, but of our playlists as well. Also, when I think of her, I think about how in middle school and high school, I used to take Am I Gay quizzes. Bitch, if I take Am I Gay quizzes, I think there's the answer. But anyway, our next comedian, you all know her, you all love her, you can't get enough of her. It is MC!
It's heaven in Las Vegas.
There we go, there we go.
I don't say words. Okay.
Hello. Hi. I know it's true about me that my fashion sense is the one thing you envy most. I did want to be a fashion designer in 6th grade, so that was kind of my whore beginning. Actually, you know, speaking of being a whore, that's kind of the number one thing I wanted to talk about today. I know how you all see me, and I want to make it worse. I do think that, you know, one's whore training, if you will, starts much earlier than a lot of people realize. Because think about it, you and I, we both have this experience. You wake up in the morning and you're like, I'm 4, fuck yeah. And you go to school and you do your little, you got your backpack, you got your little fucking tiny ass glasses that we all thought were cute. And you're like, crayons. I'm going to find a new hole to put these in today. And your poor teachers are like, I'm going to kill myself. I wanted to do elementary ed, not surgery. Anyways. So yeah, you wake up in the day and you're like, I'm gonna put this crayon wherever this crayon gets put. And I know that we're laughing because we're uncomfortable, but you all thought it. And if you didn't, yes you did. Even the Catholics, some of whom I used to be friends with. I used to be different, I'm sorry. And they'd be like, if I put it in my butthole, it doesn't count. And the big man is like, yes. Sorry, if you haven't caught on, crayon has now become a euphemism for penis. Thank you. I wasn't gonna make a penis joke, but then, come on. I'm a woman in stand-up, that's all we got. So yeah, I am a lesbian though. Thank you. So yeah, crayons don't really do it for me. Not really a fan. I guess you can't like knock it till you've tried it. I'm a gold star lesbian, so the definition of that is, you know, a lesbian who's never had sex with a man. Thank you. I am literally one of the best ones they've ever seen. Like I'm like you Google lesbian and they're like, Mary Kay, it's her. I'm so gold star-esque that I recently got my own parking spot at BJ's, right next to the Purple Heart parking spot. That's me. If I could drive, I'd be there every day. I'm getting my Pizookie, which, by the way, they're fucking $4 now. That has nothing to do with my set, but they changed it, and I'm fucking pissed. Anyways, yeah. So, speaking of BJ's, I've never given one. I know we knew this about me, but I wanted to make it abundantly clear because, I mean, you can tell by the way I'm holding the microphone. I'm up here like, that's not doing a lot for anybody. But unfortunately, it's not my fault. I do come from a long line of women who also don't know how to give a blowjob. Like my ancestors before me. My mother, whom I love and respect as a person, want to make that clear, she will have this funky little thing that she does where her gag reflex is so poignant that I, a person with ears and a heart, will be in my kitchen at home eating my gourmet cereal, and she's brushing her teeth 7 rooms away. She's 1.5 miles across the house, and I still hear her going. And it's like, bitch, how far back do you have teeth? Take it easy. She literally will go so fucking hard that I'm like, I didn't want to think about this. I'm eating Cheerios. I'm already having a bad day. We started.
That was fantastic, a little guest appearance. She actually could not hear any of us. She could only hear the mic, so that's a fun little subject. Alternate. She's also watching, so, you know, she loves the show. But our next comedian, she's wonderful, she's amazing. Some of you actually would really respect her because she gives real business rat energy. No, it's not me, it's not MC, we've already been. No, it's not Lily, even though she's no longer in a business rat. You know what I'm talking about her. You know what I'm talking about? No, she gives business rat energy because at our first after party, you know, we gave her a Smirnoff Ice and we were like, get down, bitch, haze. And she downed it in less than 2 seconds.
That was impressive.
And she's done. I was like, what? What the fuck? That's just gonna be the theme for tonight. Yeah. But anyway, give it up. She's amazing. She's incredible. It's your one, your only, Lori! No.
Wow.
Volume's on. What screen is on? What little one? What little screen?
On the toolbar.
It's on. Oh my god! Okay, wait, we're gonna back. So sorry about that. Okay, you deserve your full walk on, Lori. There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Lori. I want to tell you a couple things about myself. First off, the rumors are true. Yes, I can drink a Smirnoff Ice in about 2 sips. I'm a psychology and criminal justice major. And a lot of times when people hear that, they ask me if I've seen Criminal Minds. Okay, I get it. I do look like the kind of person who would choose to do 2 majors based off of a TV show. But I also want to clarify that I chose those majors, 1, because psychology is easy, and 2, because I watched BuzzFeed Unsolved. Speaking of some unsolved crimes, I recently received a death threat, which was very exciting. I was incredibly sick for a long time, basically terminally ill, not with COVID, but with a common cold. And I live in the dorms, so the walls are really thin, and I was just yakking up a storm, really putting my whole Elmo-C into those coughs. And I hear like a knock at my door one evening, and I go out and I see this little note on the ground that says, "For your cough." And in with the note are just 3 unlabeled white pills. So if we want to be optimistic, we could say, oh, somebody was being nice, they got like some extra cough meds and like want to help me out. But I'm pretty sure they just decided to euthanize me. So yeah, I received a death threat. They tried to put me down. Let's see what else is on my set. Oh, I'm also training to become a whore. That's why I kept this in my bra. Let's see. Oh yeah, so I'm excited to be back at school instead of over winter break. I know that winter break is supposed to be relaxing, but 3 days into living with my mom, I started to study abroad for the summer application. This is kind of a weird break because I'm finally at that age where people stop asking about my GPA and start asking about my relationship status. A lot of family members were really curious about, like, are you dating anyone? And, like, ask me if I'm planning my wedding yet. And I'm like, actually, no. My aunt was seriously super invested in me starting to plan my wedding. So I started asking some friends, like, hey, have you, like, thought about that yet? And a lot of them have. Like, apparently that's a thing people do is, like, dream about their weddings or something because it's, like, supposed to be an important day. And I think that's kind of dumb. Like, first off, very bold of you to assume that you're definitely gonna get married.
I agree.
Second, Alexis, not to slut shame, but the emerald cut ring is not cute. But yeah, I think that a better thing to plan if you're like really into event planning is a funeral. It's like you're definitely gonna have one of those, you know? I've put a lot of thought into it because I know that thousands of people are just gonna be devastated when I die. You know, when my neighbor decides to euthanize me or whatever. So I've got like a fully fledged plan for my funeral. But I want to end on like a lighter note, so I'm going to talk about one of my true passions in life, which is shopping. I try to be really sustainable with it. I think that like the environment is important and like an ethical company is so good. So I've been doing a lot of my shopping at Shein. I think what they're doing is awesome. The child labor economy has never been better. So many children are employed. And a lot of people like to say that like Shein clothes are made really badly or whatever, and I think that's really rude. Because it's made by a child. So of course it's gonna be badly done. Like you don't walk into one of those 5th grade art shows and look at like the finger paintings and go like, well Jimmy, this is shitty. Of course it's badly made. We should be giving them credit for being able to hold the sewing needles. I just, like everyone's trying to boycott like Shein and Forever 21, and I imagine being an 8-year-old clocking 50+ hours a week at the factory, and then turning on the news after a long day and seeing that everybody hates the work I'm doing. Like I thought we were supposed to be past bullying at this point. It's just really rude to the children. So I've given about $200 to Shein this year, and thanks to me, some 8-year-old has gotten paid at least $6.
Well done.
For PR reasons, I just really quickly want to clarify that I'm actually not in favor of the child labor economy. I'm really against all economies. I'm like a psychology major, so I'm an empath. So I know that like money makes a lot of people sad. Which is why I'm now in favor of the upcoming World War III with like Russia versus Ukraine. And on that note, I'm gonna end. Go World War III.
On record, I actually really like my fast fashion clothes. It's just like, here's the thing when you have children make it, their little hands can get around the corners. I just think like the stitching is just so delicately done, you know. Also a joke. But our next comedian, she's great. You know, what is there to say about her? I'm trying to replicate her style, but I just can't do it. Like, there's two spectrums. Like, there's like a spectrum, and she's like on the opposite end when it comes in terms of delivery. I really respect it. I wish I could do it. Like, for example, last show, she wrote a whole set, like an amazing set, in 8 minutes. It was like one of the most incredible, most phenomenal feats I've ever seen. All right, well, now that I'm keeping you guys on your toes, give it up for Madeline. This song is from Minecraft. I think we're good. Yeah. Bum, 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 bum. I know all the melodies to the Minecraft songs. She's really given some expectations. I wrote my last set in 8 minutes. I wrote this one in about 3 minutes, so forgive me.
Okay.
I hear most of us are in a business frat. Hollers for that. I'm not. I don't even really know what that means. I do have one question. Are we pro arts in schools?
Yeah.
Fucking liars. I'm in an arts management, arts marketing class right now, and we didn't do a survey recently. We were studying a survey done by scientists, amazing people, and 90% of people say that they support arts in schools, which I think is really interesting because I was in show choir and I have heard more slurs than most of you will ever know. I've been having a little bit of a personality crisis recently. I got Hufflepuff on a quiz recently. I don't seem like a Hufflepuff, and I also thought that was a really weird thing for my professor to say. I really like group me because most of the time it's not helpful at all, and it's kind of just people saying, this professor really sucks and I hate his teaching style. But it's a little bit of an exhilarating experience for me because it's really easy to take a screenshot and send it to the professor. Y'all put your full last names in your group me, watch out. Speaking of Minecraft, I wore a Minecraft shirt to a rock climbing class that I'm in. A lot of facts, a lot of vibes going on, rock climbing Minecraft. I thought it was pretty normal, but every single person walked up to me and went, is that a Minecraft shirt? I said, yes. Every single person kind of did a neutral, okay. Walked away from me. The first time I was like, okay, I guess that reaction makes sense. The 5th time, I was like, are they talking about me on the other side of this wall? Somebody told me recently that they low-key produce sick beats on the low. So I guess we're just saying shit now. In the same way, I low-key can't stop watching videos on YouTube of like roller coaster malfunctions. There's like a lot more of those than you would think. Oh, it's super rare, it's safer than driving a car. Okay, well, it looks really fucked up when I keep watching 8 hours of YouTube compilation. I'm gonna leave you guys with one more fact about me. I don't hustle, I don't grind, I don't low-key do shit. I think success is like a cat, you don't have to feed it. And that's all I have for you today. Amazing, fantastic. Thank you, Madeline. Woo. Yeah. Please give it up again for Madeline. Yeah. So this next comedian, I feel like I have a spiritual connection to her in the sense that I'm like, she's me, but like, you know, in a different world, but like we're in the same world, bro. So for example, she's half Indian. I, unfortunately, was blessed to be with the cholesterol and bone structure of full Indian. She also has a connection of cars hitting people. Unfortunately, she was on the other side of the car that hit the person. It wasn't me, but, you know, again, that connection, we just feel it. It's a soul bond. And also, she has a great set ready for you. She is
Lily!
Okay, music.
Hey. Give me a second. I need to open my book. Oh, I'll play the song. Okay. So I was gonna start by telling a penis joke. And then MC said that that's all that women in comedy have. And I can't do that anymore. Do I got any Indians out here? Indians? Indians? Any half Indians?
Kind of, yeah.
Exactly. Nobody knows what to say when they're half Indian. You're just like, do I claim my identity or not? It's like on the forums, did you ever like have to fill out a form on like the SAT and you have to like choose if you're gonna be white or Asian? And you're like, damn, I'm gonna erase half of myself. Anyways, okay, so I have to talk about being half Indian because I'm constantly having that like crisis. So I go to the convenient food mart next to Evolve. Anybody go there? Place is awesome. They used to have biscuits and gravy, but they stopped. But they sell a bunch of like really cool shit. They have like cones and stuff, so that's why I go there. But the Indian guy who works there always looks at me and he wonders. He's like, should I say anything to her? She looks vaguely brown. And so I've walked in there many times and he's like, looked like he was gonna start a conversation with me, and then one day he finally said, "Are you Guju?" Which means, are you Gujarati? Are you a type of Indian? I said, yeah, I guess. Because I am, but I was culturally raised to be white. I don't know anything about anything Indian, which sucks. But he was like, but I do know one thing. I know how to say, like, hello, how are you, in Gujarati, which is, Kemcho. So I said, Kemcho. I don't know how to fucking pronounce it. And he starts talking to me, he's speaking in Gujarati. And I know what that sounds like because I have Indian grandparents, but he was like, yeah, like, and I was like, I don't actually speak Gujarati, but apparently, like, everything I was saying was, like, answering his questions. So we had a full 5-minute conversation. The whole time I was like, no, really, I don't understand you. Stop. Anyways, so, like, now I'm wondering, like, am I allowed to joke about that? Or does it make me racist? Am I allowed to, like, say, like, non-face, chicken tikka masala ass bitch? Just offensive, right? Or is it? Can I talk about it? I don't know. I've always wondered. And I've always wanted, sorry if I offend any Indians out here. Don't cancel me. Okay, so I was going to talk about penises. I'm not anymore. So instead I'll talk about my asshole. So if you know me well enough, you'll know that I did have asshole surgery. Like, I'm not talking about, like, Brazilian butt lift. I know it looks like it, but I'm not talking about it. That was a fucking horrible joke. Yeah, so I had asshole surgery, which meant that they went inside of my asshole and removed polyps that they thought were cancer. So I was gonna die of asshole cancer. Turns out they were precancerous, but I don't have asshole cancer. I have IBS and constipation and asshole problems. But the reason why I'm saying, why? Oh yeah, okay, no, okay. So I studied in Prague. No, I went on a high school trip to Prague. And, okay, one thing we don't talk about enough as a society. Okay. When you wipe your ass, so you're taking a shit, right? Go over the toilet paper. Stand up. I fucking stand up. I stand up and wipe my ass. And I didn't realize that that was like a weird thing. And so like my boyfriend walked in on me in the bathroom one time. I was like standing up wiping my ass, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, people really reach into the toilet bowl and like wipe up their asshole? I can't do that shit. I need like full reach, access, everything. Also, I have a lot of UTIs maybe it's because I sometimes thought you were supposed to. That's also wrong, but I figured that out at least. So I was in Prague, and I was going to this art museum, and I went to the bathroom. I really had to piss, or no, I had to shit. And so I sat down, I'm shitting, everything's fine, I'm just, you know, doing my business like a normal ass. I thought I had a normal ass. Apparently not, but so I was sitting, shat. Okay, when I stand up to wipe my ass, I don't stand up and just stand up. I stand up, turn around. So I have my pants down on my ankles, bare ass with maybe a little bit of shit on it. Maybe, depending on how many wipes I got in it. And so I'm just wiping my ass, and then all of a sudden, I forgot to lock the fucking stall door. No. And this Czech lady, she definitely didn't speak English. Or maybe she did, I don't know, who knows. Anyways, so she opens the door, and I would get it if you saw, but I have a good ass. If you saw somebody's ass that was good, you'd be like, oh, like that's what my reaction would be. Her reaction wasn't like, oh, it was, ah! And I turned around and I was like, holy fuck, what's happening? Because I didn't know she was there until she screamed. And I was like, wow, okay, I guess it would be kind of jarring to see a little brown butt. Actually, my butt's kind of white. That's a different story. You know, and I don't know, because I also, last thing I want to say, because I was going to talk about another thing too, but I think it's going to offend some men. Anyways, I got a phone call. Madeline was there to witness it. So I get all these prank phone, no, I thought it was a prank. I get all these phone calls, and I'm like, okay, it's gotta be a prank unless it has like a local number. So this number said like Crawfordsville, Indiana, so I was like, sure. So I picked it up. And this woman, very serious, very professional, she says, hi, am I speaking to the butts? I said, huh? She said, hi, am I speaking to the butts? I said, I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, obviously not, bye. I was like, am I Lily the Butt Yeagley? Was she looking for me because I'm Lily the Butt Yeagley? I don't know. But yeah, that's it. Give it a more for Lily! Woo. All right, so our next comedian, every time I think of her, I just think of this image. Now, it's probably one of my favorites, and I'm in the shower, I'm thinking about it. I'm walking to class, I'm thinking about it. I'm in class, I'm thinking about it. You just have to witness it for yourself to understand. Stop! There it is! Alright. She said this meme to me once, and I can never get it out of my head. My 8 weeks of Chinese helped. Timo shi xia la mai, or is it May? You know, she'll correct me when she gets up here. But our next comedian, to close you all off, is Sasha.
I love Sasha. Yeah, it was stressful. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Are you coming to live tomorrow?
I'm currently not allowed to go, so
Hi.
but I'm
Howdy.
You'll see
Valentine's Day,
episode of the
am I
reality TV
right?
show tomorrow. Or not that many episodes.
I know it's our January show, but I just want to, talk about how terrible my sex life is. So that way on Valentine's Day, you don't feel bad about yourself, but instead feel bad about me. I saw something on Twitter the other day where it was like, oh, what movie did you lose your virginity to, or whatever. And I was very intrigued by this, and so I was asking my friends and stuff like that. What's your, what movie did you lose it to? And some of them were like, oh, it was just this TV show that we really liked, or oh, this movie that was really romantic. You want to know what mine was? Talladega Nights with Will Ferrell. And of course it's your first time, so it's not gonna be great. But shit, after that, I should have just watched the whole ass movie. Okay, this might make me a really bad person, but I lie. I know, on the 12 Commandments or whatever it is, thou shalt not lie. A bitch lied. Bad. So he was flicking the bean and whatever. And he was like, is it good? I looked him dead in the eyes and was like, he was the best I've ever had. Then I left. Moving on, there's this other dude, not losing my virginity to again, because, that restarts after every year, but whatever. I recently downloaded Tinder, and so this was one of the dudes that I was oh, this can be a little potential spicy thing. We'll just call him Dom. Not for any particular reason, but it doesn't rhyme with any other generic white guy name. Might start with a T. Anyway, so, we're doing our stuff, and he decides to ruin a perfectly good moment by asking if I lick ass. Not if I ate it, but if I lick ass. I felt the way that he said lick was derogatory. Lick? Violated, but not in a bad way though. Another thing about this man. Oh! His secretion that came out of his body. I swear, that should have pop rocks in it. That thing could power a whole ass electrical plant.
No!
Right down. Yeah, my shit's hurting. Not my insides. My in small intestine. It's hurting. I swear, what did I say? Had me thinking if I could get food poisoning from this. So traumatic. She had high potency, the calorie count of 250, and some artificial flavoring of a cigarette. It was a whole ass Monster Energy drink. Anyway. You think I would have learned from the first time? But I swallowed that shit twice. I was fighting for my life in that teeter bathroom. But that wasn't even the worst part. The worst part was, okay, a year before, he was in an accident and had his jaw wired shut. Well, I kind of noticed it when we were making out because he couldn't open it all the way. So you could say he was limited mobility. Anyway, limited mobility, blah, 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 blah. He was telling me about how he used to blend chili and drink it so he wouldn't die of starvation because he didn't fuck with smoothies. I don't know about you, but I don't want to eat blended chili. I want to have my Fritos crunchy, not soggy. Anyway. Next we move on to bat. Doesn't rhyme with any other name. That might end with a hue. Hints. Another Yeah. Another Tinder dude. He's from back home. I'm not gonna give out that information, but I will ridicule him in front of everyone here. So he's from my hometown, and well, when we were gonna meet up, he was like, well, I asked, I was like, well, we can't do it at my house. My mother's home. He's like, well, we can't do it at mine because all my family's here. I'm like, well, shit. I'm like, well, pick me up and then we'll figure it out. After 30 minutes of pondering, we came across my old elementary school. It was an empty parking lot, okay? So we did it in a car in the parking lot of my old elementary school. Yeah. But like, that's not even the worst part. The worst part is like, as soon as we were about to start, he played lo-fi beats. I don't know if I should like be weary about this because in our conversation, he goes to like a Christian kind of like affiliated school. He mentioned Bible study several times.
Anika.
Huh? Anyway. So he plays lo-fi beats and I asked him, I was like, this is what you fuck to? He said, yeah. Can't argue with that. It's his car, man. Another thing that he did that I thought was kind of funny was he stopped halfway through to look up positions to do in a car. We tried some stuff out, not too bad. But it was kind of humiliating just sitting in the back waiting for him. But hey. Oh yeah. I don't know if this is like a common thing to do with Tinder hookups, but he asked me to rate him. And if I would recommend to friends. I said no to either. Both. But I think was the fact that he's studying to be a preschool teacher, and I'm studying to be a secondary education teacher. And we also did it in the parking lot of my old elementary school. So the Holy Trinity was perfected in that moment that not even Thanos could snap his fingers out of that shit. The portal that we created, man. Anyway, that's all. So.
Here, I'll play some music. 1 second, don't leave yet. We have one little thing that we always do.
Someone lift me up with the laptop. Someone lift me up with the laptop.
Oh, okay. Forgot about you there. Oops. There we go. All right. Together, we are Ladies Night Comedy, but individually, we are Amina,
Mary,
MC,
Lori,
Sasha.
Madeline,
Grace.
Lily.